I'm Sherry Jelsma, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Stockdale, the house built by Colonel Charles Stewart Todd and his wife, Letitia Shelby Todd, in 1830. In 1826, Supreme Court Justice Thomas Todd, who was Charles' father, and Governor Isaac Shelby, Letitia's father, both died and left their children an inheritance of money and land. The house was built on 500 acres of that inheritance, land which Governor Shelby received for service in the Revolutionary War. Enslaved men who lived here made the bricks on the farm. The stones came from this land as well and were smoothed by the workers. Likely, traveling craftsmen created the woodwork, cabinets, elaborate mantels, and paneled doors throughout the two-story house. The farm was at its peak in the 1830s with crops of corn, hemp, grass hay, and tobacco. Colonel Todd also raised for sale blooded cattle and hogs. The Todds had 12 children. 8 grew to adulthood. There's a stone at Grove Hill Cemetery marking their grave. Besides her family, Letitia was responsible for feeding and clothing the field and house workers who lived on the farm. This could be up to 37 people every day of the year. Who was Colonel Todd? He was a patriotic gentleman farmer, a pragmatist who knew he needed laborers in the fields to make his farm profitable. A member of the elite group of men who led the United States in the 19th century, Todd had been schooled from age 3 at various schools here in Kentucky. He earned a diploma at the College of William and Mary, then spent a year at Judge Tapping Reeves Law School in Connecticut. President Monroe appointed him to a 4-year term as U.S. agent to Colombia and Venezuela during the years of their revolution against the Spanish government. Henry Clay supported this effort very actively. In Whig politics, Colonel Todd wrote for political newspapers statewide, as well as Kentucky's agricultural weekly, the Franklin Farmer. His conduct and support of his general in the War of 1812, who was William Henry Harrison, led Todd to become editor of Harrison's campaign newspaper, The Republican. After Harrison died, President Tyler appointed Todd as ambassador to St. Petersburg, Russia. Here he and Tsar Nicholas had several common concerns. One was the issue of serfs in Russia, very similar to Todd's concern of the U.S. slavery practices. And secondly, both were very interested in agricultural and industrial reform. Before his inauguration in 1841, General Harrison came here to Stockdale to rest from the campaign. The townspeople heard of his visit, and the Shelbyville people dressed in their finest clothes, top hats and bonnets, and hired handsome carriages to visit the president at Stockdale. When they arrived, they found the president-elect stretched out before the living room fire, toasting his stocking feet. "The old farmer for us," they shouted. This old house has many stories to tell of the influence Shelby County, Kentucky has had on the U.S. history. I'm Sherry Jelsma, and I'm a proud member of the Shelby County Historical Society.